Good morning, 7th grade. Today's standard is Algebra and Functions, 7AF2. Solve equations of the form P times X plus Q equals R and P times the quantity X plus Q equals R fluently, where P, Q, and R are specific rational numbers. Represent real-world problems using equations of these forms and solve such problems. Today's question: a class has 8 boys and X number of girls. Each student has 4 pencils. The total number of pencils the students have is 52. Part A, create an equation that models this situation. Part B, how many girls are in the class? Before you begin answering your questions, let's talk a little bit about the testing environment again. The iLearn is a little different than iStep in the past, and it may or may not have a time limit the same as iStep did. So in that case, we need to be respectful to our peers that are still testing. So during a practice session or the actual session, we want to make sure that there's no talking, that we're staying seated, that there are no passes in or out of class, that you're working independently, and that when you are finished, you're not moving on until the time is up. And that may look like just sitting there quietly and waiting for others to finish. You will not be able to get out a book or get out pencil and paper to draw or to color or anything else. So part of why we're practicing this is not only to practice the questions, but also to practice the testing environment. So the time limit may not be as long as you need, or you may feel it's not long enough. And so we are not only practicing just for the questions, like I said, but we're practicing on getting ready for the testing environment. So really work on sitting quietly until the time is up and making sure you're being respectful to those that are still testing. Be sure to write down the question, show all work. You have 10 minutes. You may begin. Time is up. Let's take a look at the answer. Boys and X number of girls. Each student has 4 pencils. The total number of pencils the students have is 52. Create an equation that models this situation and answer how many girls are in the class. So to solve this problem, we first have to write the equation, and we know that there are 8 boys and we don't know how many girls, but we know that every student has 4 pencils. So we know we're going to have to add the number of boys plus the number of girls, and then we're going to have to multiply each boy and each girl times 4 to represent the total number of pencils. So we say 4 pencils times 8 boys plus 4 pencils times X amount of girls equals 52. Or another way to say that would be 4 times 8 plus X equals 52. Because this would say that boys plus girls times 4 pencils per person equals 52. This equation here is equivalent to this equation. It's just that this equation has used the distributive property. So it would be the next step to this equation. So then 4 times 8 would be 32 plus 4x equals 52. And then we would subtract 32 from both sides, and we would have 4x equals 20. Divide both sides by 4, and x would equal 5. So therefore, there would be 5 girls in the class. So for part A, your equation could look like this, or any variation of that. And then for part B, our answer was x equals 5. So there are 5 girls in